Hello, welcome to Board, Deck and Dice. I am Dr. Richard Kimball and we are today looking at the UK Games Expo that was on last weekend, and I'm just going to run through some of the things I looked at, some of my disappointments. This will probably be a series of videos trying to keep them all to about 5 minutes length. Does this time me? No. Anyway, around 5 minutes. And I'm just going to go through the order in kind of which I encountered things, unless there's a particular theme to be done. I did plan my route around the Expo, planned to go down A and then up B and then up C, and I found, after being a 1 year veteran of the Expo, that my plan went to pot quickly on row A, and that was simply because unless you had a booked-in time slot with a publisher or developer, then a lot of the demos were hard to get in on unless you waited. And I kind of took the viewpoint that I'd go around, look for open slots, then try and pick ones up later on. So the first place I went to was basically Wooden, which is a UK-based maker of wooden inserts and boxes and all sorts of wonderful things. In fact, I've got some over there. Excuse me a minute. Always the professional. Just sing to yourself. There should be some photos going up as well of some of the really interesting products that they've made, including a Codenames tray that can fit both pictures and the words game cards and can come apart for easy storage, and the Dominion Lazy Susan, which can be covered to be a normal Lazy Susan for your food, but when you take the top off, it can be the kind of base setup for Dominion case wooden organizer. That's the word. So I got a token tray and then 2 card trays, but the great thing with these is they are, if you know the laws of magnetics, which I clearly don't, there we go, got one on, they are magnetic, so they snap together and you can obviously buy bigger ones, smaller ones, ones that sit in there for little cards, and they all magnetize, which is now a word, and that's quite handy and also very well made and reasonably priced. So I would encourage you to check out basicallywooden.co.uk. Have a ever increasing range. You can have input on what games you want to see next, have inserts made for, and really good to have something like that in the UK. Next, I went past the always busy Alley Cat game stand, and it's fair to say that one of my big regrets is not getting a demo of Dice Hospital. I took a few photos of some other people playing who seem to be enjoying it, and basically there's some tile laying where you all start with a similar board, but you can add hexes to it, and the dice are your patients that you're trying to treat, and it just looked really good and really up my street, but I didn't get a chance to play it, and I really regret not getting in on that. But Dice Hospital, I think, is one to keep an eye out for from Alley Cat Games. It will be, I believe, their 3rd Kickstarter after 2 successful ones, so one to keep an eye on there. As I walked away disappointed from the Alley Cat game stand, I came across a Gale Force 9 stand and an empty seat at a table for Doctor Who Time of the Daleks. This is a semi-co-op game, and that was the worst part of the game for me. Essentially, you're all engaged in a race against the Daleks on this spiral track to this planet in the middle. I'm not a massive Doctor Who fan. I like it when it's on, so I don't know many of the names. I'm sorry about that. That might get me exercise from the community, but there we go. So it's semi-co-op. You're racing against Daleks. If the Daleks win the race, you all lose. But if one or more Doctors reach the end at the end of the round, they will win on their own. So in the situation in the game we had, was one of the rewards was you could move any 2 Doctors forward on the racetrack. and because 2 players had got that reward, they were able to move themselves 4 times and win the game, leaving the other 2 doctors as the losers. And that was the only part I really didn't like. It's kind of light to middle dice rolling race game, and the dice rolling, you are rolling dice to resolve dilemmas, and it's kind of like Age of War, Roll for It, Elder Sign, that the kind of thing. You're trying to get certain symbols to resolve this dilemma, and if you resolve it, you get a reward, and if you don't, there is an effect that is negative. However, you can ask other doctors for help, and they can help from afar, which is less risky for them, or they can come to your space and help, which is more risky for them, but the reward doubles. It was really clever. It worked very well, despite having fairly termy rules cards, flow of play cards. It went fairly quickly, and you're always kind of involved because you're saying, what dice do you need? I've got those colours, or I can use my companions to influence those colours. You have timey-wimey cards which act in as kind of equipment. You have companions, and you have sonic screwdriver tokens which can be used to mitigate dice rolls. So sometimes you might want to go for the person with the most mitigation potential. It worked really well, like I say, light to medium, but I'd probably just throw out the kind of semi-co-op and say, if one person gets there, we all win, but that's me. That is coming out in August, and there will be an exclusive K9 figure. K9 because it's a robot dog, and K9 because K9 is a dog. And what was I saying? That came out in August. K9 is exclusive for the first print run, so if you want K9, you need to pre-order now. I'm not sure what effect K9 has in the game, but there was a little model for him. I assume he's going to be one of the companions. Next, I went and checked out Halfwing Games. I previewed Package, which was successfully funded on Kickstarter, and was very interested in their game Schism. I have picked up a prototype copy and look for a review coming that soon. Basically, it's a very interesting concept of having 2 game boards which have the same charts that were to do with placement, so you can affect both sides, and you're fighting to either collect souls or collect followers. Yeah, I look forward to reviewing that one. It's got great artwork. The production quality of the prototype is really, really good. So look out for that preview coming up. And then the last one I'm going to talk about in this video was called Lander. The company doesn't even have a name yet. They just have this game called Lander. And Lander is really interesting. It reminded me, in terms of the flow of the game, sort of a 51st State, even though it looks nothing like it, in that you're just trying to build up your resources and manipulate them into other things like points and mission cards. It's only really the mechanics it reminded me of 51st State, but there's also this whole tile laying thing. There's some really pretty 3D printed tiles, hopefully photos coming up now, that fit together and give you resources. And that bit was more like Catan, except when you claim the 2nd or 3rd places in one of these triangular tiles, you increase the amount of resources you're getting each go. The version I played was sped up for the show, so a couple of balance things that I had questions about, like it just felt like you were getting an awful lot of cards, and I was able to complete a 2-star or 3-star mission out of the 6 required in my first go, just through use of resources that I had through my initial placement and my initial staff. But I think this game has got a lot of potential, and it sounds like they're aware that they sped up the process. They talked about it being a sped up version of the game, so if they get that balance right, this could be another one to watch. They're aiming to go onto Kickstarter in about 6 months, but Lander, if you like the resource engine building style of game, this could be one for you. So that's my first preview video. We've got a few more things to talk about, maybe 1 or 2 more videos, and then if I have any other video and content, I'll just shove it up as a kind of medley of clips and stuff. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time on Board, Deck and Dice.